Today's spotlight shines on Linn-Benton standout freshman shortstop Bryant Starr. He's been one of the most dynamic infielders in the Northwest Athletic Conference this season, leading the team in runs, getting on base at 371 clip, and making plays all over the turf. Off and on sun over top Dick McLean Field here in Albany, Oregon, the home of the Roadrunners. It's a beautiful day for baseball as Linn-Benton gets set to take on Chemeketa in a crucial South Region clash. Second to last homestand of the season, and playoff implications are on the line. Hello, everyone. I'm Brad Whitman alongside Nick Munoz. Nick, this is the kind of series that can shift the playoff picture real quick.
Absolutely, Brad. Linn-Benton's been playing some of their best baseball lately. With only a few series left, though, every game seems to ramp up with the pressure on them. And for the guy like a Star, such a Star, this is where legacies start to take shape.
Let's lay it out. Linn-Benton comes in at 27-1 overall, 23-7 in South Region play. We are going to take a quick break for the national anthem. We'll be right back.
Okay. Which one do you want to do? Okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everyone. Getting set to go here in Game 1 of this doubleheader between Linn-Benton and Chemeketa. The starting defensive lineups for the Roadrunners on the bump: Brody McMullen, Chase Logan, being behind the dish on the other side of that battery. Jake Dodge over at first, Brooks Avery at second. Bryant Starr, that leading shortstop, getting his start once again. Connor Boyd over in the hot corner. Jackson Farr, Colton Lindstrom out in right and left. And, of course, Landon Lay being out in center field. And for Chemeketa, their starting 9.
For their starting 9, we have a few names here that we're going to be seeing coming in new for this matchup. You have Taylor Brenneman at the 9 position. Over on the left side, you have J.C. Cleese playing on the 5 with Jack Klee on at the 4. You have Elissa Blackhawk at the 4 as well, with Tyler Rock down on the 9. And
yeah, so starting at the 1, batting leadoff, Taylor Brenneman playing out in right field. Also have batting second. That's going to be Lemming getting the start there over at shortstop, Cody Lemming. Then having the big DH for Chemeketa, the big threat, Lance Kreisberg. He's going to be a big threat for Linn-Benton to try and face off. Nick Crawford, the first baseman, batting in the cleanup spot. Brody Hubble batting 5th. Also have Wyatt Hooper, the catcher, batting 6th. J.C. Cleese in the hot corner, batting 7th. Joe Vaccaro batting 8th. And Elias Blackhawk rounding out the bottom of the lineup at 9. But it's set to be a strong matchup today. Brody McMullen starting on the bump for the Roadrunners. He has been a lot of fun to watch as of late. A fastball, curveball, slider mix. Has the occasional changeup that he tosses in there as well. And, you know, Linn-Benton coming off back-to-back losses versus Chemeketa in that last doubleheader. They're really looking to fight and reclaim that really dominant spot in the 1 seed in the South. Absolutely.
Losing by only a 2-point differential. You would imagine that they're going to be hungry today, get that win, and hopefully write a new series in this matchup.
It was back-to-back one-run games that Chemeketa were able to take. A 10-inning game that they took on and then we're able to win the second game in a quicker fashion as Brody McMullen will get opened up with an 0-2 count versus Taylor Brenneman. Brenneman has been a fun utility guy to watch for the Storm, has done well up at the plate and on the mound, but it's going to be McMullen who starts off 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and he's got out number 1.
It's a very nice start overall for Linn-Benton. That's the type of start you want to give yourself momentum and continue that on throughout the game.
And they're going to be really looking to find that stride early, really lock in and take control right from the get-go. Linn-Benton have been a team who sometimes let games get away from them, sometimes let them get a little bit closer than they maybe should. And Chemeketa, they were able to take advantage just 2 days ago in that last doubleheader. Now we're going to see if the Roadrunners can lock it back in. Brody McMullen making a 1-1 count here. Didn't have 4 strikes to open up that start, and already seeing a lot of early strike potential from him. He stayed very consistent throughout the season. A 1.33 ERA. This one put in play towards the left side. Connor Boyd fields it, fires it for him beyond foul territory, and Jake Dodd will make the catch over at first.
Very nice catch by Jake Dodd. The type of throw you want to see that can take opponents out of games very quickly. It was a nice series of events for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, Connor Boyd has gotten a lot of work in the hot corner for the Roadrunners. He's been getting more and more consistent all throughout his time, and he's been a nice piece of the puzzle, sophomore infielder from Colorado. He's been great to have, and here up steps the main threat, Lance Kreisberg, currently leading Chemeketa in almost every offensive stat category: batting average, slugging average, runs, RBIs, hits, extra base hits. He's got 8 home runs on the season. This one grounded into foul territory. It will be called foul. Count will go 0-2, and Brody McMullen looking to put him away quick.
It's a nice overall series of events for the Benton. When you have a throw like that, it's able to give you momentum. And I think that now with this upcoming batter, you're already looking at a very positive start for this game if you're the Roadrunners. It's a great overall series of events that you can now hang your hat on.
Yeah, Kreisberg went 4 for 8 in that last doubleheader just 2 days ago. 4 for 8 with 3 RBIs as well. He was a huge piece of the puzzle for the Storm. Now he's looking to do the same thing. This one grounded towards the middle. Bryant Starr lays out, can't get there. It's a 2-out base hit for Kreisberg.
Starr with the diving attempt. That would have been great if he was able to haul it in and throw it back over to first, but not close enough, and they're able to steal the first plate.
Yeah, and Kreisberg taking advantage there, getting a hit with an 0-2 count. Is, if you're McMullen, you can't be giving up those kinds of pitches to a hitter this dangerous. You want to try and stay ahead, stay away
Absolutely.
from a player like Kreisberg, especially in that 0-2 count where you got room to work. You don't want to throw really anything over the plate.
No, not at all.
Full step, Nick Crawford batting cleanup here today, the first baseman for Chemeketa. Crawford leading the team in on-base percentage as a first baseman. It's always good when you have a big first baseman, can get on base well, hit well, and he's been great for Chemeketa thus far. We'll see if he's able to continue that as of right now. Currently sitting himself at a 226 batting average, but 437 on-base percentage. To a pitch from McMullen. This one swung on, hit, popped up just beyond shortstop. Bryant Starr will get called off by Deminu. He'll make the catch for out number 3. 1 stranded on 1 hit for the Storm. The Beaks will head to the bottom half. We'll be right back.
second, getting started off with hitter number 5, Brody Hubble.
Brody Hubble leading things off for the Storm in the top of the second, trying to get Chemeketa on the board early. Hubble looking to see what kind of impact he can make, batting .248 on the season. He's the team leader in stolen bases, so he's got a great bit of speed, and he's usually able to take advantage of that fact. He usually starts a little bit higher up in the order. Today, he's starting at 5th.
With that explosiveness and speed comes his ability, like you said, to take bases really easily and break away whilst the ball is still in play. So that's an asset for this team.
And he's one of the only sophomores on the roster as well. 18 out of 26 on the roster for Chemeketa are freshmen, so a very young team, and that has been a part of the reason for their turnaround. They had a conference program low of 15 conference victories last season. Now they've really stepped things up. It's because they've got a lot of new additions, freshmen, as we're going to see a backwards K for Brody McMullen. He finds himself the second strikeout of the start.
It's not a bad start for McMullen's day, already having an impressive first top of the inning. Now to start off the second inning, it's another good start.
Yeah, he's always been a steady presence in the rotation. He's had multiple deep outings. He's been really great at escaping jams. That's kind of been his biggest thing. Sometimes he can get into a little bit of trouble, couple walks, couple hits, giving up runners, getting scoring position. But he's one of those pitchers who's always able to battle out of it. And I've talked with head coach Andy Peterson before, and one of the things that he always says about Brody is that he's competitive. As this one knocked towards Bryant Starr, he'll make the catch on the line for out number 2. But McMullen, he's always competitive. Even if he struggles, he's going to get ramped up and compete. And when he gets in more tense situations, that's where actually you can see his velo rise into the low 90s.
And Starr on that last play, making it an exceptional grab, making it look easy out there. This is an overall great start for the Linn-Benton Roadrunners.
Up steps the third baseman, J.C. Klee, one of the 2 Klee brothers competing today. Again, his younger brother and Jack Klee is on the bump for the Storm, and he's getting the start over at third. We'll even it up with a 1-1 count here. J.C. been a solid piece for Chemeketa on the season, batting .218. Still looking for more of that consistency, but has hit well with runners in scoring position. He's got 12 RBIs and 7 doubles on the season.
It's not bad at all. It's a very nice overall season output, and hopefully you can see that go up today for the Storm.
We'll see indeed. Joe Vaccaro waiting on deck for Chemeketa. Here's the 1-2 pitch from McMullen. Slider just trailed outside. Count will even up at 2-2. We have seen Brody working very quickly with his pace so far in these first couple innings. 2-2 pitch. Curveball by him. Another strikeout for Brody McMullen. 3 Ks in just 2 innings. And Chemeketa will go down quietly in the top half. We'll head to the bottom of the second in just a moment. Second for Linn-Benton, and this guy a little bit. He hit his first career homer just 2 days ago versus the Storm while the Roadrunners were away. He's looking to do a bit more of that damage here today.
Absolutely. Having that impressive stat line against Chemeketa, you got to imagine there's a little bit of swagger on his side that they hopefully replicate that and get his runs in.
He's one of those freshmen to look out for. 6'5", left-handed left fielder. He's done well in the outfield in his chances, and obviously we've seen his bat work really great as of this season. He's been getting more and more consistent. He's batting .269 on the season. and he's leading the team in slugging at .463. Also got a decent bit of speed as well. He's 5 for 8 on stolen bases on the season. He's just looking to get on base more and more, and he's also got himself 3 triples, team leading 3 triples as well. Big swing and a miss on the two-seam outside as he'll go down on strikes. It'll be another K picked up by Jack Klee, his first of the appearance.
And Jack Klee's been a solid pitcher today for Chemeketa Storm, and I hope that he's able to continue that for their sake. Being able to have a reliable pitcher is always a big game changer for your team.
And we know Chemeketa, we've seen their solid pitching. We've talked about their solid pitching, but one of the most interesting things is Linn-Benton, they're not a huge power team. It's not exactly their forte. Currently, 15th in the league in terms of slugging, 18th in terms of batting average. Not really towards the top. As Andrew Dem ground this one over to short, it'll be gobbled up and tossed over by Lemming, out number 2. But Linn-Benton have hit 5 home runs on the season as a team. 4 of the 5 have been versus Chemeketa. So the Storm got to look at the Roadrunners as a really power-hitting team, when in reality, not so much.
Absolutely. It's just they have found their rhythm against the Storm. They really have their number, and they've been pitching great, and they've been batting amazing. So I would assume that would hopefully continue today, and we could see a lot more runs come in.
But if you want to talk about a power-hitting player, Jake Dodge now up to bat is one of the guys to watch. The 6'5", 225 first baseman for the Roadrunners. He's had himself a lot of strikeouts this season, but that's just because when he swings hard.
Exactly. And that's what you want to see from a big pitcher a big hitter like that. Being able to hit the ball as hard as possible and aim for the outer field and see what you can get.
He does work a little bit better against lefty pitchers. He works well when he can pull the ball. You can see the slight shift across the infield and outfield. He loves to tear things towards right on that right side of the infield, really just sending lasers through the infield. And when he's able to get a hold of one on the inside part of the plate, that is where he thrives. This one sent back towards foul territory. Running after it is Lemming, but it'll drop foul for strike number 2.
You're one away from being struck out, so it's not exactly the best response to such an amazing series of pitching on your behalf. But I'm assuming the Roadrunners can still come back from this. There's still a lot of baseball to be played, but it's not the best start, but it's still a more manageable start to the game.
We expected it to be most likely a pitching battle, and that's what we're getting in these first 2 innings.
Absolutely.
2 outs, no one on, 2-2 count. Jack Klee looking for the punch out here. Jake Dodge looking to stay in the at-bat. Fastball high and away will miss. Count goes full. Seen a lot of pitchers across this season like to live on that outside corner versus Dodge. Don't like to give him anything inside. Here's the payoff pitch. This one high changeup, fouled away. And we'll do it again.
It's good pitching by Klee so far. He's been able to keep him on his toes, using that power in his right arm, sending it home.
Klee will set. Another payoff pitch up coming on the inside corner, pulled wide, and that one may have been ball 4 on the inside corner, but Dodge got around it.
That definitely did look like a bit of a ball, but the ump will let it fly.
Again, anything on the side part of the plate he wants to tear the cover off of. He saw that one cruising in, tried to pull it, sent it into the LB dugout. Another full count pitch up coming. This one swung on, turned towards right, down the line, it's fair. Dodge will turn off of first, cruising towards second, and he will stop there. Jake Dodge, a 2-out double to get a runner on.
Now that was a nice hit and series of events for Jake Dodge with the strong arm swing out, and now the Roadrunners are already halfway there.
His 7th double of the season so far, and he has really been tearing him down that right field line. Again, we saw him looking for anything on the inside. Klee just left that one a little bit up and in, and Dodge saw it all the way, took advantage, and that'll bring up the catcher, Chase Logan, for his first at-bat.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He uses the right field very well, and he continues there.
Chase Logan batting .211, still looking for some consistency at the plate. He does well minimizing strikeouts. He likes to put the ball in play, and sometimes that's all you need to get an opportunity. We go up 2-0 in the count. Dodge trying to score on anything into the outfield. Dodge not the speediest guy on the Linn-Benton roster, and of course standing at 6'5", 225, it's tough, but we have seen a triple out of him. We've seen a few stolen bases as well, as this will be fouled straight back.
Once you get that momentum as a runner, you can be able to steal a base. So I'd assume that if this ball could hit outfield and give him enough time to steal a base, he could 100% do it.
We saw Dodge hit his first career triple here at home just a couple weeks ago, and it was a spectacle, Nick. It really was.
Absolutely. It was pretty impressive to see a big dude like that send it home.
Yeah, it was into that right center gap, and he was trucking his way through. It looked like he was going to stop at second. Then he got that call from the third base coach, and he put on the gas. And now 3-1 to Logan. This one will miss low and away. He'll get walked, and that'll be 2 runners on for LB.
It's a good start so far. Note you avoid the out so you can still keep this alive and maybe send one home. I would expect a big thing out of their next man on the bat here.
And that'll be the center fielder in Landon Lay. And it's been interesting to see Lay get the start here today, this being his 14th game of the season. He's only played in about a third of the game so far for Linn-Benton. Most usually a game 2 outfielder who comes in that game 2 of these doubleheaders, but now getting the start in game 1 versus a very solid Chemeketa defensive team. We'll see how he does.
Well, it tells me the coaches clearly have a lot of trust in his arm and what he can do at the bat. That clearly shows that the coaching staff has some faith in Lee, and hopefully he can show that here of why he was given this opportunity to already head up to the bat.
Yeah, he's only got 21 at-bats on the season, only 4 hits in those 21 at-bats, equaling out to a 190 batting average, and we'll let this one go. Count will go 3-0, but in his last 3 at-bats, got to give him credit. He's 2 for 3 in those last 3.
That's not bad. Again, he clearly must have shown something to the coaching staff that they have faith enough in him to send him out this early.
Now he's getting a chance here as this one will miss high. Another walk. So back-to-back from Klee. We'll load the bases, and we're immediately going to see a quick talk on the pitcher's mound, as it's going to be a little bit dangerous as the lineup card will flip over. Connor Boyd, the leadoff hitter, will step up once again with bases loaded, 2 outs. And again, Connor Boyd, being the leadoff hitter, doesn't always get a ton of RBI chances, yet he's leading the team in RBIs.
Which is exactly what you want to see when you have loaded bases. This is something that now Connor Boyd can capitalize on and maybe send a few home. Not just one, but maybe run up the score early on here for the Roadrunners and take a massive lead early on in this matchup.
Yeah, 1 base hit could potentially score 2, as Chase Logan does have a bit of speed as well over at second, and we'll see if he's able to take advantage. Dodge off of third, Logan off of second, and of course having Landon Lay off of first. But Klee will set back up after the back-to-back walks. He'll immediately fire strike in on the outside part of the plate. Got Boyd looking. Always good to get a first pitch strike. We'll see if he can build on it. This one swung on, popped up into the infield, settling under it. Looks to be Lemming. He'll get it on the cut of the grass, and bases loaded, 2 outs, not able to take advantage. Score will stay knotted up at 0-0 heading into the third. The freshman from Bend, Oregon in Joe Vaccaro leading off here for Chemeketa in the top of the third. Brody McMullen continuing to work off the bump. 23 pitches in the first 2 innings, and half the outs he's gathered have been on strikeouts.
This is a very nice stat to have so far. And with his amazing start of the day, I'm assuming that this is going to be a very nice series of events for the Roadrunners. They clearly trust this guy to go out and pitch for them. So this should be a fun one.
Yeah, McMullen, not the biggest strikeout starter that Linn-Benton have. That honor goes to Connor Mendez, but he has been throwing a lot of strikes early and often. As I say it, he'll go down to the count 3-0, but he's going to be looking to battle back Vaccaro, trying to get a pitch he likes, just try and get on base here. He is a little bit speedy, has struggled with his consistency, his hitting, as he'll take strike one. He's batting 172 on the season, but does have himself 17 walks, boosting that on base percentage to 330.
Well, he's already had a great day striking out a lot of their best hitters, so I would only assume that he can keep that up.
As this one cracked into left field, it'll be a leadoff single for Vaccaro, and that'll bring up Elias Blackhawk rounding out the bottom of the lineup, and we'll have Brenneman waiting on deck as the lineup card will set to flip over.
Vaccaro with the nice hit out to the left. Great way to steal first, and now you have one man on base, and that's a great start.
And Blackhawk has done well being able to really be a tough out. He's the team leader in walk this season, having an on-base percentage of over 350, as McMullen will go check on Vaccaro at first. Just a quick pickoff, making sure he doesn't go anywhere. Blackhawk, a freshman utility guy from Pocatello, Idaho, traveling here to Oregon to play some JUCO ball, and he has looked impressive in minimal starts. He's got himself 11 RBIs, which is solid by any metric.
Absolutely. And Blackhawk, he's done a very nice job of being able to have his name now be put and on notice for the Storm. And I think that's why they have him out here so early as well. You got to imagine the coaching staff also likes this younger player to give him his chances here as he bunts, and no good.
Yeah, fouls it back, just couldn't quite get on top of it. Connor Boyd already trucking down the line, trying to be ready for it. Is a lot of small ball in the NWAC. A lot of teams known for it. Linn-Benton being one of the most prominent, being coached by Andy Peterson, who played over at Oregon State just a little over a decade ago, and that was his thing, being a player for OSU. He was known for his bunting, known for his small ball ability, and he has brought that into Linn-Benton, and we've seen that replicated all over the Northwest Athletic Conference.
It's an important factor to have whenever you can get those lower balls and give your chance, if you have a speedster, to bunt and then take off toward the field like he goes again there for another bunt. Clearly, it's taken over and has a very good coaching tactic to it.
Not to mention, a good spot here is if Blackhawk does get that bunt down, you get a runner in scoring position over at second, and then the lineup card flips over. You have the 1-2-3 coming up. It would be a good bunt to put down for Elias. He'll show again. McMullen trying to pick off over to first, no good. Just making sure Vaccaro doesn't get too big of a jump.
A lot of testing of Vaccaro early, already 3 checks.
Yeah, McMullen just does not want to give any free space as Blackhawk shows bunt again. Now he pulls back, takes the high fastball for ball 3. So a 3-1 count, still could put the bunt down, but we'll see if he tries to pull the trigger on a swing here.
Yeah, and McMullen, again, he's already had a very good day to start to his day. So whenever you have him throwing these lower balls, hopefully he cannot avoid a walk, as he would not want to replicate what happened to the Roadrunners earlier, to the Storm earlier, and have a full loaded set of bases and risk having a early hole to climb out of.
That's a great pitch on the low and away corner to extend the at-bat. Full count, runner on, no outs. McMullen will set. Again, firing over to check on Vaccaro. Not trying to give any free room whatsoever. Blackhawk being forced to stay patient at the dish, not only in this longer at-bat, but also having to wait for those pickoff moves to set through. McMullen will deliver. This one low and away, fouled off well by Blackhawk. He'll keep the AB alive.
McMullen clearly with frustration of letting the man hit to first base, trying to at least see if he can check him out early, already having several attempts to block a steal into the first base.
And he knows the situation at hand, too. He knows this is the 9-hitter. He knows the 1-hitter is waiting on deck. He knows this would be a crucial out to get, as he'll fire again, but he'll miss outside as he'll walk another on. So a base hit and a walk for Chemeketa. And we're going to see head coach Andy Peterson go out to talk to him with 2 runners on and no outs as Taylor Brenneman will step back up for the second time. And Brenneman, I mean, he's done well. He struck out swinging in that first at-bat, but he's been very consistent so far again. Been able to get on base quite a bit. But the other interesting thing about Brenneman is he's actually better on the defensive side of the ball, Nick. He is a utility guy. And in the pitching factor, he's actually thrown the most innings for Chemeketa. He's thrown just under 56 innings total, leading the team. He's got a 5-2 record with a 1.78 ERA.
That's impressive. Clearly the guy, as you said, is a utility piece. So him being able to be that versatile on both offense and defense for the Storm, that's a key aspect. You definitely want to see him get more involved. Then I understand why they're using him this so early. As for McMullen on that last one, are you worried in his head that he would be wanting to not replicate what happened to Cleese earlier, where he ends up accidentally loading the bases with continuous walks? You don't want to see him replicate that in this inning.
I mean, I'm expecting him to try and stay low in the zone in this at-bat. In this situation, no outs, 2 runners on. The biggest thing you can look for is a strikeout or that double play ball to really get those 2 outs. So living low in the zone, trying to force swing and misses, trying to force that ground ball, that's going to be the key here. But we'll see what he chooses to do versus Brenneman. He got the K in at-bat number 1. We'll see what he has cooked up. Bunt being shown by Brenneman. This one will be fouled back. It was a high pitch towards the top of the zone. Brenneman a little bit too far on top of it.
Got a little too excited there to already take off as well. The bunt a little too high, and there it leads to the foul.
Got Cody Lemming, the sophomore from Staten, waiting on deck for the Storm. He's going to be looking to try and take advantage of. Brenneman does get the bunt down. Dodge crashing from first. Boyd crashing from third. This one popped up. Will be towards the backstop. So a quick 0-2 count. And that's the best thing you get to hope for if you're McMullen.
Absolutely. Again, trying to avoid another walk, get your first strikeout here, and make it look more manageable to end this series and move on.
So Brenneman will set. Looking to take a cut now. Dodge still halfway up the line. Here the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and hit right back to McMullen. He'll turn, fires it over to second. Star, sends over to Dodge, and that's a double play. 1-6-3 on the double play, and a great heads-up look by the Linn-Benton infield.
That is an amazing heads-up look. McMullen quick with it, sending it back out to second before going to first. That is an amazing series of events for the Roadrunners, and just like that, you're 1 out away from managing this. However, still keep an eye on the fact that they have a runner on third. So even though it is more manageable, there's still a chance for the Storm to take the lead.
Go-ahead runner just 90 feet away. Cody Lemming will step up for the second time as he'll take a change-up for strike number 1. Lemming grounded out to Connor Boyd over at third in his first at-bat. Just turned on an off-speed a little bit too quick. Now looking to settle back with an 0-1 count. This one slider low and away. Got him looking 0-2 count early, and McMullen has locked right back in.
Yeah, McMullen now with a much better headspace, I imagine, being able to clean up the previous 2 walks and now being able to have a better chance of sending the Roadrunners back to the dugout to bring the offense on.
Another slider low and away. This one just missed. It was a good frame attempt from Logan behind the dish. Couldn't quite get it there. And again, we've talked about how well McMullen does while being really under pressure, how gritty, how competitive he can get. We saw that full display with 2 runners on. Now fastball high. We'll make it a 2-2 count. Still got room to work.
You still do have room to work. And if you're McMullen, this is where you can start to relax a bit. There's a higher chance of you getting this strikeout now. So I'd imagine he keeps his cool here and sees if he can give another fastball.
Well, fired in slider, put weakly into play. Bryant Starr crashing, will gather up, fires it over to Dodge off the base. He stayed on it in time. And that'll be out number 3, Starr. A great crashing in play throw, a little bit off target, but Jake Dodge able to manage. We'll head to the bottom half. Jack Klee out for another inning of work for the Storm. He's got 34 pitches through 2 innings, has a strikeout and 2 walks, has been struggling a little bit with that control. We saw it last inning, but looking to dial things back in versus Brooks Avery.
Yeah, and he did have some struggle with that control, as you said last inning, having a full loaded set of bases initially for the Roadrunners. And you would hope that he doesn't recreate that again here and is able to have a little more control with his pitches there. There's another slice.
Will make his way quickly through on an 0-2 count. Brooks had a weak grounder over to second in his first at-bat that was bobbled, and he was able to advance on the error, and now will stay alive, fouling this one straight back. Bryant Starr waiting on deck for the Roadrunners to try and get right back into it, but we've seen Klee still looking solid throughout, still has had a good bit of control with that off speed. Now he'll go inside. This one grounded towards third. It'll be ruled as a fair ball. Klee will send it over. The catch is missed by Nick Crawford. Brooks will make it over to second, and that's twice now that Brooks Avery has gotten on through errors.
Brooks Avery with the day of luck on his day. He has been absolutely blazing through bases and bases. Again, using that speed, more lighter player, only weighing in at 150 pounds on the dot, using that light frame to take off. Another great series of events that went in Brooks Avery's favor.
So it's going to be ruled as a base hit that got Brooks on, so it'll be counted as a hit, and then the error was what moved him over to second base. And now the Roadrunners have a man in scoring position. Bryant Starr will step up. He'll show bunt, will pull back. It'll be called ball 1. But ultimately, we have seen now 2 errors from Chemeketa in these first 3 innings. And again, this has been one of the best teams at minimizing errors in the entire league.
And it seems that just might be having an off day. You know, you are one of the better teams at minimizing that, and already you have a rough start.
And Starr will do his job on the sac bunt as Jack Klee takes advantage, sends it over to first. But now the Roadrunners will have a man just 90 feet away as Colton Lindstrom will step up to try and take advantage. Again, this guy has knocked in a lot of RBIs over the last month. He's got, I believe, 11 in the last month of his total 14. So he has been on a hot streak in terms of RBIs, and having a guy 90 feet away with 1 out is a great situation.
And that's exactly what they've been wanting to do. Starr did his job. He moved Avery to the next mound, and now with Linderstorm at the bunt, you can hopefully see him send him home.
Yeah, he'll take strike 1 early on the low and away corner. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing on and miss. Another slider. This one getting away, and Lindstrom will fall down 0-2 in the count. Instead now trying to protect and trying to just put something in play at this point. Low and in slider will miss. Count will go 1-2.
And hopefully he can clean it up a little more. Again, he's had a better outing there, being able to knock Starr out with the pitch back to first. So if he can get a few strikeouts here and avoid the home take.
This one hit well towards the right field side, but foul. Lindstrom staying on a bit of a dangerous pitch there from Klee, especially in a 1-2 count with a great RBI hitter. Might have to be a little bit more cautious. I'd expect him to go back to that slider. He got the first one looking, then he sent the second one way outside, and Lindstrom was chasing it. We'll see if he goes back to it on the 1-2.
I think he's trying to get Lindstrom out of his comfort zone as he sends this one flying.
This one towards left field. Vaccaro back towards the corner. Be Hubble who makes the catch, but tag up at second. At third will come through. Brooks Avery scores, and Linn-Benton put the first run on the board.
And that is a nice job for the Linn-Benton Roadrunners to get on the board. A great series of events. You have an error that sets you up in a nice opportunity. Bryant Starr comes out to set him up even further, and then Lindstrom to send it home.
Lindstrom's 15th RBI on the season on the sac fly towards left center. If you're Hubble, there's not much you can do as an outfielder, as Farah will send this one straight back. Again, Jackson Farah, we've seen a lot of power from him as of late. Not to mention, he is on a 7-game hitting streak. He's 8 for 20, batting .400 in his last 2 weeks.
Jackson's got an arm, and he's going to see that today as he'll hopefully be able to throw Klee off his game, send one out.
As that will be a slider dropping in at the knees for strike 2. Early 0-2 count from Clee. We've seen him work ahead in a lot of these counts now. Just looking to get himself out of this inning and minimize damage. 2-seam away will miss. Count goes 1-2. Farah getting the DH spot here in game 1 of this doubleheader. We've seen him mix in at left field quite a bit, but getting the start over at DH this time. Andrew Deminu, Colton Lindstrom, and Landon Lay being that outfield makeup for the Roadrunners, and mostly that being the reason. It looks like the Roadrunners wanted to give Lay a chance in the outfield to start this first game, so that's why Farah is DHing as this one fouled away. Count will stay up.
And giving Lay that opportunity to take an outfielder chance and go run toward another base. You have your opportunity now to set that up with a good series of runs here. And if that works out for the Roadrunners, you're then in a very good situation to start this offensive series already with 1 run in.
This one swung on and cracked towards right field. Trailing back is Brenneman, just short. He'll catch it on the cut of the warning track. Not enough behind it, and that'll be out number 3. But Linn-Benton take a 1-0 lead heading into the 4th. Brody McMullen coming out for another inning of work. He's through 3 straight, only allowing 2 hits, 1 walks, and has himself 3 strikeouts. He's looking to keep that pitch count low, but it has been a very efficient start from him here out.
Efficient is a good word to describe it. He's been on his game today already with several strikeouts, a few walks in the later innings, but he was able to clean that up with a great heads-up play in the 3rd to keep the Roadrunners away from giving up any runs as the rain begins to pour. I don't think those will change up. Hopefully won't change up his game anyway when it comes to pitching.
Yeah, it's been off and on sun, and now it's starting to sprinkle here over top Dick McLean Field. And Lance Kreisberg getting his 2nd at-bat of the day. He was able to poke a single up the middle in his first on an 0-2 count. Would expect McMullen to be a little more careful with him this time around. Will go up 0. We'll see if he changes up his strategy. Kreisberg has stayed efficient. You can see the shift in the infield as well on the pull hit as Kreisberg reaching for this slider will foul it off. You can see he's got himself in a very low stance, and that allows him to really fend off anything he might chase. He allows himself to chase a little bit because he knows he can still put a bit of barrel on it.
Exactly. You can have that stronger hit when you go lower and come up.
And now he'll crack this one foul. And again, you can see him pulling on a lot of things early as Connor Boyd, Bryant Starr moving closer to that 3rd base line, as you also have up the middle Brooks Avery. He's basically sitting behind 2nd base as of right now. He's just shy of it, and we'll see if that ends up paying dividends. Dodge more closer to the 3-4 hole as this one swung on and fouled. High bounce for Boyd. He fires across. Dodge is there, and that'll be out number 1.
Not fast enough to get there. You would assume that he would be able to pull it down and move a little quicker. But again, with that light lower bunt that bounces out to the left, it's pretty easy to field and send it away.
Yeah, Kreisberg not able to leg that one out. But again, you can see that pull hitting potential as he comes up, swings over top of it. But that'll bring up Nick Crawford for the 2nd time today as this one will miss low for Brody. And still looking for more of those first pitch strikes, looking to stay efficient in that realm. Crawford slide out to shallow left in his first at bat. Now we'll get up 2-0 in this count. This one miss away early 3-0 count now. We've seen McMullen get himself into a bit of 3-0 counts early, usually having more of those first pitch strikes, but still has struggled with that command to certain hitters.
That's a good way to put it. He commands the hitters, and he's been doing a very good job today when it comes to it. So if he can keep that up, this becomes a more favorable matchup for him versus his opposing hitter.
As getting a nice call at the knees there. Crawford thought it was ball 4, was about ready to start trotting on down to first. As this one popped up now right side. Gathering Lindstrom coming in, and the catch will be made by Avery over from second base for out number 2.
Already stole the first points of the game for the Roadrunners, and there with the good save out in the right field. It's a good start of the day for Brooke Avery.
Got to be happy with him. I mean, getting on base twice offensively, once through an error and then getting over to second on an error, but having yourself an infield hit. Going to be happy on that metric. Standing well at second base, has been more and more of that starting second baseman for Linn-Benton. It's always been one of the positions this season that's kind of always been up in the air. You got players like Brooks Avery, you got Eli Rolfe, you got Seth Willie, who have all been fighting for that spot, but Brooks Avery gotten majority of the starts as the count will go 1-1 to Brody Hubble. Hubble struck out looking in his first at bat. It was a backwards K on the low and away corner. Now we'll ground this one over to Starr. He'll pick it up, bobbles it a bit, but fires it over to Dodge in time. And just a little bit of extra finesse on top of it to find out number 3, Chemeketa. Still nothing on the board through 4. We'll head to the bottom half.
Could have been a bad series of events.
Jack Klee gave up the first run last inning in the bottom of the 3rd, but other than that, he has been lights out. And one of the main things that has been struggling has been the defense behind him, already picking up 2 errors in 3 innings, but he's still through with only allowing 2 walks, a few hits, and having himself a strikeout. No earned runs. The only run he's allowed was, of course, on the back of his defense. So 1 run allowed, but no earned runs on his back.
So when you take that away, we mentioned it several times before. Chemeketa has been very good at avoiding errors, one of the best teams at doing it. So it's been really strange to see the back half give up that so many errors already and then have allowed a run too. But like you said, if you ignore the 1 run that was his fault, Glee's still been having a very good day.
And he's been filling up the zone early as it'll go to a 2-1 count versus Andrew Deminu in his second at-bat of the day. Deminu, .237 average on the season. He's a veteran outfielder who has had just a lot of presence in the lineup all year long. This one will be popped up shallow in foul territory. Running after it is the catcher and Hooper, but it'll fall just shy of the Chemeketa dugout, and it'll be strike 2.
Been 1 strike away already, and you can imagine that now this puts the pressure on Klee to get it out early.
Deminu he's been fighting well. He's been a solid contact hitter all year long. He's been one of the most consistent hitters across his 2 years as a sophomore. He batted over .250 in his freshman year, now batting just under .250, but this one flown out to center. Hubble will make the clean catch on the run in shallow right center for out number 1.
Brody Hubble with the lazy date run up and grab. I like the approach of trying to send it out as far as you can down the middle, but not enough oomph on it to hit the ground quick.
And that'll bring up the big man in Jake Dodge. With one out, no one on, had that double down the right field line in his first at bat. Now looking to take the cover off something, change up down towards the dish. Got him swinging for strike one. And again, those low pitches, those inside pitches are where Dodge loves to try and take big swings. And he looked at one there, and you'll see Klee immediately goes right back towards that same pitch. This one a little bit lower. Dodge will hold off. But 1-1 count, one out, no one on. He's looking to get the Roadrunners a man on.
He has the size and power to send those in hits out as far as possible, so I can imagine that he will like to take those chances there.
And another change up towards the knees that Dodge swings over top of, was just able to tip this one towards the backstop. Count will go 1-2, but Klee, I think, looking much more confident in this approach towards Dodge, and he'll get ahead one set. Here's the pitch. Slider was looking for the low and away corner, missed it. Count will go 2-2. Klee sitting at around 60 pitches now through just 3 1/3 as of right now. Looking to lower that pitch count a little bit more, but these LB batters have been fighting with him early on.
Yeah, you know, when you have the batters trying to make these plays early and have him throw off, they're trying to get in the pitcher's head, throw him off his game. So whenever you have Klee try to fight back with that, throwing the low balls, get him off the, again, he's a huge dude, a lot taller than you'd expect to go for a lower ball. So get him out of his comfort zone and try to get your best hits in.
That was a great pitch from Klee. Just missed the low and away corner with the slider. Was trying to get Dodge looking, just about did. But the count will go full. This one inside, swung on and turned, stays in foul territory, and Nick Crawford will do it himself for out number 2.
Another easy send out for the outfielding defense to field. I like the approach of having the lower hit for Dodge, but again, Klee with another great send that allows the hitter to send it not as much power on the hit as they would want, and they're able to recover rather quickly.
That'll bring up Chase Logan with 2 outs, no one on. He'll swing at the first pitch he sees, fly it out towards left field. Joe Vaccaro stepping in. He'll make the catch in time for out number 3. A quick inning of work for Jack Klee as we're through 4. The Roadrunners still up 1-0. Brooks Avery been sharp over at second in these first 4 for Linn-Benton. He's been playing well out in the field, getting the start here today for the Roadrunners. Also been doing well on the base path, being the one run to come across so far in this game. We'll see if he continues to work out in the middle infield.
Yeah, he's had an amazing day so far with the 1 run. He was able to take advantage of an error, a very uncharacteristic error on the back half of the Chemeketa defense, and being able to take 2, and then before being set up by Starr and then Linderstorm to take home. With that run being so impressively lucky, he has to have a lot of momentum on his side right now, and you can expect him to play very well moving forward.
Wyatt Hooper leading off for the Storm here in the top of the 5th versus Brody McMullen. Trying to get a base runner on early for the Storm. This pitch will miss high to Hooper.
Number 3, Wyatt Hooper.
Hooper being the other end of the battery here for Chemeketa in game 1 of this doubleheader, batting .231 on the season. The freshman 5'7" at 165, grounds it over to Avery. He'll send it over to Dodge, who will pick that one up out of the turf, route number 1.
It's an easy ground hitter there. Fairly easy defense to block that and send it home. It's an easy out for the Roadrunners.
And that'll bring up J.C. Klee for his second time up. Struck out in his first at-bat, now just looking to put something in play versus McMullen. Ultimately, I think if you're Chemeketa, you're just looking to try and force him out of this start because he's through under 60 pitches, through 4 1/3 right now. He's working very sharply, keeping that pitch count as low as possible, and of course, only allowing 2 hits, no runs.
It's a very effective day so far for McMullen. He's already made the throws he needs to make, and if he keeps this pace up, he's going to be easily getting game ball from coach.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Looked to be a changeup inside, fouled off well by JC. Keeping things in. It is a little bit tough with 2 Clees out in the field for Chemeketa, having Jack Klee and JC Klee, brothers from Beaverton, as a big swing and a miss as JC Klee will go down on strikes for the second time here today as Brody McMullen picks up his 4th strikeout of the appearance.
And McMullen has had himself a day with how many strikeouts he's been landed. Again, having a reliable pitcher really does mean the world for you, not having to get your sub-ins or have other pitchers take them out and mess up any kind of synergy you're having. It's a very good thing to have a McMullen on your team.
Yeah, Linn-Benton, one of the most consistent teams in having their starting pitchers be really the main threats, always kind of have been in these past years where Linn-Benton has been dominant. Of course, are the reigning NWAC champions, and of course got another championship back in 2022. So 2 championships in the last 3 years, and main cause of that has been that pitching. As another ground ball towards Brooks Avery, he'll collect it, sends it over to Dodge for out number 3. Another quick inning of work for Brody McMullen. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Roadrunners still leading 1-0. Landon Lay leading things off here in the bottom of the 5th for the Roadrunners. Trying to become another base runner here as the leadoff hitter got walked in his first plate appearance. Was able to get on, provide a little bit of pressure for Linn-Benton, now looking to do it again.
Yeah, and the thing with Lay is that we mentioned earlier is that he's being involved rather early on here, being usually a second game hitter. They're having him here in the 1st, and that, again, showed signs of the coaching staff having some faith in that arm and what he can do with the hit as he lean drives in an error.
This one is going to be quickly grounded through the middle. It just got by Elias Blackhawk, and it will be ruled a single up the middle for Landon Lay. And that's huge as he's 3 for 4 in his last 4 at-bats.
And that's exactly why you have him at bat. Again, the staff thinks that he can make those type of plays, and there he's showing it again.
Yeah, he's trying to win himself in a spot going into the playoff picture for the Roadrunners. As the playoff race has been tight along the south. Connor Boyd will lay down a bunt from behind the dish. It will be put up. Boyd not there in time. A good play from Wyatt Hooper behind the dish to get the bunt for an out, but job well done by Boyd as he'll advance layover to second.
And with how good the Roadrunners defense is, you would think that this maybe could be the method. The same way they got Avery home is just continuously using your amount of strikeouts and just sending more players out to progressively move your one man out there more and more until he can take home and get a run in.
Brooks up to bat now, 1 for 2 on the day. Has gone on with a single and an error. And now trying to get on again. Anything into the base pass, grounded up the middle very well. Could result in a run. Lay does have a decent amount of speed. This one poked out towards second. It'll just be flared in. Catch will made by Blackhawk for out number 2, and that is a gift for Chemeketa.
That is a gift for Chemeketa, packaged right into the hands of Blackhawk. And now you start to lose a little more momentum when you're the Roadrunners, when you had a great start to that series, getting a man already all the way to second. So let's see if they can make a quick turnaround here.
Bryant Starr trying to get it back 1 for 1 with a single and a sac bunt. This one lined towards right center. This is going to be an RBI. He's hunting for extra bases as well. He will cruise into second head first, and an RBI double for Bryant Starr.
And Starr, with the nice dive to save himself, takes 2, and you're able to get a man home and get your second run in on the day. What a series of events for the Roadrunners.
LB up 2-0 as Starr collects his 9th double of his career. He's leading the team in double and extra base hits, and that is why. Got a good bit of power towards those gaps, and obviously having the speed to back it up as well. That'll bring up Colton Lindstrom, who has the other RBI logged for the Roadrunners, now having some more speed off of second. He's looking for an RBI as well.
Absolutely. You know, you were able to now send 2 runs home, being a part of the earlier one. Let's see if he can have another chance to get his second RBI, as you said. Great day for Linderstorm.
And Jack Klee has had a little bit of weakness exploited. This one bouncing towards third. That is going to be an error by J.C. Klee. Starr will come around to score. And another error from the Chemeketa infield, their third in just 5 innings.
We might have jinxed it, Brad. Earlier today, we were saying how great they were at cleaning up errors and avoiding them. And here you have several that have set up pretty much every positive play that the Roadrunners have had. And now you have 3 runs on the day with 2 in the bottom of the 5th. What a complete shift in tone. This was a back and forth slugfest, and now it's looking out of reach with how this game has been going.
And this is going to get Jackson Farah on the shin as he will walk out. Now we will see a pitcher's meeting here as, again, things have gotten away from Chemeketa quite a bit throughout. Again, the errors coming through. That is now the second unearned run to come across for Linn-Benton. You got to give still respect to Jack Lee. He struggled a little bit. His pitch count is getting up there, but he still stayed pretty efficient. Ultimately, the infield is not backing him up.
It hasn't been today. Again, like you said earlier when we were discussing it, Klee has been having a great day, but his one error has been partially on the defensive side and that backfield, just missing low driving balls, letting them go way farther than they should. It's usually been on the outside as well, with the exception of that one run that sent Lay home to run. And maybe Klee can clean it up by having higher, stronger throws. But at the same time, though, again, he's been having a good day. He really has been having a good day. It has been the back half that has been having a rougher stint today than the pitching.
His defense behind him has just not been there, and we'll see if that cleans up. Andrew Demenu, he's over 2 to start his day, trying to find himself a hit, maybe knock in a 4th run for Linn-Benton as they put 2 across here in the bottom of the 5th. And again, we've seen one of them earned, one of them unearned, as 2 out of the 3 runs scored by Linn-Benton being unearned. That is a huge thing that needs to be addressed if you're the Storm.
That is something you want to address. That just shows a series of errors on your hand of not being able to field the outfield well enough and allow the Roadrunners to take advantage.
And this one cracked over to J.C. Klee over at third. He'll be able to take care of this one. He steps on the bag for out number 3, but Linn-Benton pick up 2 more. They're up 3-0 heading into the 6th. Colton Lindstrom picking up 2 out of the 3 RBIs, helping put runs across for Linn-Benton early on as the Roadrunners up 3-0 through 5. Chemeketa still looking to get their offense started, still looking to lock down their defense and lock down those errors, but Brody McMullen has been standing in their way every step of the way. He's through 5 innings on 65 pitches, only allowing 2 hits, 1 walk, and no runs.
And all the momentum has swung completely in the favor of Linn-Benton. You have 2 runs at the bottom of the 5th, now heading to the top of the 6th. You are in a much more favorable start with how good the pitching has been from McMullen. This is now a situation where you can walk away with this and either stay at the same score of 3-0 or run it up even more. Again, the defense for Chemeketa has not been there today.
Yeah, it really hasn't. And, you know, Linn-Benton, they're looking to lock in that #1 spot in the South. And Chemeketa, they're just looking to stay alive in their playoff hopes. Again, haven't made a playoff spot since 2019. They've been struggling these last few seasons, have been steadily improving, but still haven't quite been able to break that barrier as they need to. This one cracked well by Blackhawk into left field. Denu will get behind it and keep it from being extra bases, but a lead-off single for Elias Blackhawk, his first hit of the day.
It's a nice way to start your first hit already for Blackhawk, and that is another situation where the Roadrunners have to keep their eye on. You don't want to immediately lose it after having a great lead. You don't want to give up any runs. I'm assuming that maybe like the last time this happened,
stepping in place of Taylor Brenneman. Genduso, the freshman from Hillsboro, Oregon, batting .244 on the season, having a nice slugging of .387, got 5 doubles, and he's the only other player on the roster who has home runs. Again, Chemeketa, they have 12 homers on the season. 8 of them have come from Kreisberg, and the other 4 have come from Genduso.
So I could imagine this is a strategical move to send out one of their homers on here to see what they can get going.
Yeah, it looks like trying to really take advantage and get something on with runners on to really crack this thing away. You know, I didn't see Brenneman really have that fire early on, went 0 for 2, and it looks like immediately just trying to swap him out and get Joey Genduso in, heated up here in the lineup. Might put in work, but a 1-1 count with a runner off of first. We'll see how McMullen chooses to deliver, goes low and away, picks up strike number 2, and he has been living on that corner, low and away to those right-handed hitters.
He has, and when you have those low-handed hitters, you're going to try to throw obviously high. You're going to try to avoid that box of frame of where they can hit the ball and swing their best. So having this more versatile pitcher like McMullen at your disposal makes it much easier to combat either type of hitters that Chemeketa can throw at you.
Yeah, Genduso, he's another big power hitter. He's 6'1", 210. Of course, talked about the 4 homers, the 5 doubles. The other thing about his game, Nick, he is leading the team in strikeouts with 41. The next closest is Kreisberg with 23. 41 is a huge number of strikeouts. And similarly to another name we know from Linn-Benton, Jake Dodge, he's a big swing hitter. He likes to just take big hacks all he can as he'll get right on top of that one and go down on strikes. Brody McMullen picks up his 5th K of the afternoon.
And that's also his 42nd strikeout now, as we just said. He has been the big guy. He's been either all in or all out with his swings, as we saw there. He'll take a full jab at the ball to see if anything goes, as McMullen continues his fantastic day.
Yeah, he's got 48 strikes on just 76 pitches. This one put in play weekly. Starr fires it across. Is it in time? Yes, it is. Bryant Starr, the highlight reel shortstop, puts another one away. And we got 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
And that is a good way to avoid a situation where you were 1 away from loading the bases. Bryant Starr with the lean drive throw out to Avery. And now you are avoiding that situation of having a full loaded diamond.
But danger not gone yet. Lance Kreisberg will step up with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position for Chemeketa. Trying to take advantage, cuts this one down the third baseline in fair territory. Runner coming across. Kreisberg will chug for second. Get there in time. It's an RBI double for Kreisberg, and Chemeketa are on the board.
And now Chemeketa is feeling a little more confident with their next series of swings as they're able to get a man on the board. The nice RBI and 2 steals as well, being able to make it all the way to second. A good run there for Chemeketa.
Kreisberg 2 for 3 on the day, picking up his first RBI on the day. He's now sitting at a team-leading 28 RBIs, which, again, is just a huge number. Keep in mind, next closest is Brody Hubble with 16, and he's now at 28.
And there he was showing his skill there with another RBI. He's been the man who's have that strong swing to set up his fellow teammates to have the best opportunities to take home. I assume they strategically put him in the lineups in order to set up the best situations for their people to take home base with a good run.
Chase Logan, quick talk with his pitcher, got him to smile a little bit, keep that attitude up even after giving up his first run. Still 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, just looking to put one more away, get the Roadrunners back on the bats in the bottom half. Will start out missing just below the knees. Count will go 1-0 early to Crawford. We'll see if Crawford can knock another run through. Does have himself 11 RBIs on the season. Kreisberg, a big secondary lead. He'll crack this one into left. Deminu crashing, loses it in the grass. Kreisberg will come across to score back-to-back hits for Chemeketa. Puts back-to-back runs across. It's a 1-run game.
And this is going exactly like their last matchups against Chemeketa. They take an early lead. It looks like it's in home. And then all of a sudden, the Storm come storming back and make it a manageable game. They're 1 run away from tying it up.
It's the power spot of the lineup being that 3-4 spot with Kreisberg and Crawford. And they're able to take full advantage, getting 2 on with 2 outs. And now lazy cut there from Brody Hubble as that one will go by. 0-1 count. And Chemeketa have done well battling back, finally piercing through Brody McMullen, who has been so strong throughout this start so far. This one fouled back and away from Hubble. Count will go 0-2.
McMullen, you'd imagine there's more pressure on him now to not send another walk on or have a strike. Or excuse me, he would aim for the strike. This is the favorable chance to have that.
Yeah, giving up 2, always tough, especially in a close game like this, not having much of a cushion at all. Now trying to battle right back in. Almost got the chase out of Hubble on the slider in the dirt. Couldn't quite. Count goes 1-2. 2 outs. Crawford off of first. They're going to move on any contact. McMullen will set. The 1-2 curveball low and away, and you can see gets ahead in that count, then works his off-speed all over the plate, usually living low, trying to get some sort of chase.
Yeah, and that's the ideal way to maybe strike the other man out on the first base, by having a low ball that you can pick up quickly and send it to your second baseman and walk the Storm back off the field.
Here's the 2-2, another slider, kept well in front by Chase Logan, but 3 straight balls there, and it will be Brody Hubble getting back into the count. In a Brody v. Brody matchup here. Brody McMullen versus Brody Hubble.
Paradox moment here.
2 outs, runner on. Here's the payoff pitch. And this one down into the turf as well. McMullen will give up his second walk of the day, as there is a Roadrunner getting warm in the pen. Would expect McMullen to finish out this inning. Is sitting at 86 pitches as of right now through 5 2/3, and giving up those 2 runs, seeing that weakness a little bit. We'll see if things change, but Crawford now in scoring position off of second. Hubble off of first. And Wyatt Hooper looking to try and put the tying run across. He'll swing at the first pitch. He sees Star, can't reach it. It's another single. This one will be sent in, not in time. It's a tie ball game. And now this one will get away from Brooks Avery on the throw attempt. Another run will come across, and a timely error for the Roadrunners, and Chemeketa have themselves a lead.
Wow, what an awful, awful turn of events for Linn-Benton. 4 runs, the exact amount to take the lead by 1 in 1 top inning. And just like that, the crowd is back to their seats. The momentum has completely swung out of favor, and the Roadrunners at the mound saying, what just happened?
Yeah, it was a good hit from Hooper over the middle. Bryant tried to reach it on the hop, couldn't quite do so. And then once the throw got back in from Landon Lay, it was Jake Dodge who cut it off towards the mound, tried to get Hooper at second. Instead, shanked the throw wide and low. It got away from Brooks Avery, and that allowed another run to come through to make it 4-3. We went in to the 6th with the Roadrunners leading 3-0. They had all the momentum going. Brody McMullen looked unstoppable, and suddenly it's a 4-3 ball game for the Storm.
Yeah, the Dodge, he tried to make it happen by throwing out to his outfieldman, but not, well, too much momentum, honestly, on it. He tried to swing it a little too hard, and that's what really resulted in. We watched the replay, chipped his glove, went a little too low with it and way too fast. As we do still have
it looks
one
like we have
baseman out.
a pinch runner in now in Brody Hinsdale. New hitter up for Chemeketa, taking things over for J.C. Klee. We'll see how Hinsdale is able to work another Brody versus Brody matchup. Hinsdale batting 160 on the season, 344 on base percentage, has a few RBIs under his belt, the freshman from Florence, Montana. Will go up in the count 2-0.
And now Hinsdale, when you bring in a pitch hitter, this is, and again, another strategical attack. If they can take a 2 lead here by having another strong lead out, this is a completely different ball game now.
It looks like Coach Peterson will elect to keep McMullen in for now, electing that he can have that faith to get out of this top half of the 6th and really get back on the bats. Don't think we'd see him return in the 7th, as count will go 3-1 here, struggling a bit with that control, still trying to lock it back down here in a tough situation.
In a situation that is much more dire for the Roadrunners, as we've seen both of these teams play very good defense in their last matchup. So you're going to have to earn every run here. And now that you just choked away an early, what seemed like comfortable lead, you're now going to have to take a different game plan and approach with this.
Yeah, Hooper leading off of second, trying to take something away. And I do have to ask you, Nick, do you think, you got 2 Brodies now in the lineup for Chemeketa? You got Brody Hubble and you got Brody Hinsdale. Do you think they fight over the spelling of Brody?
I would imagine so. They have to come up with team names. Fan Pro Shop, they have to come up for the jersey names. I wonder which one gets the Brody.
I mean, Hinsdale will walk, and Brody Hinsdale does spell it with an I-E, which I don't think I've seen before.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Hubble spells it with the traditional Y, but that'll bring up Joe Vaccaro here with 2 on, 2 outs here for Linn-Benton, and we're going to see a pitching change here in the top of the 6th. Brody McMullen, his day will be done. We're going to cut to a quick break before getting you that pitching change. We'll be right back. New pitcher on the bump for the Roadrunners, the 6'7", 210-pound Noah Dewey, getting his 12th appearance on the season. Dewey currently sitting at a 3.79 ERA across 19 innings pitched. He's leading the Roadrunners in saves, and he's looking to pick up another big performance here today versus Chemeketa.
Yeah, and you hope that the pitching can stay consistent, although McMullen's day did fizzle out near the end, having those two errors on his part, a part of the defense when they weren't able to have the run. Hopefully a change of pitching can give them a momentum swing back in their favor and make this a winnable game for Benton.
And this is Chemeketa's first time seeing Dewey on the season. As Noah, his last appearance was back on April 26th. He threw an inning and a third, allowed no hits, no runs, and only one walk. He had 2 strikeouts in those 4 outs as well. So he looked good in his last showing, looking to bring that to the table once again in a tough spot. 2 runners on, 2 outs. Chemeketa still looking to take advantage. Joe Vaccaro, he's 1 for 2, looking to put another run away for the Storm. Dewey he's not an easy guy to get a hit off of. Of course, that 6'7" arm angle can make things really, really difficult.
It's that frame that gives him the advantage of having the higher stance and the more powerful swing. And therefore, it gives him that, like you said, it gives him a very clear advantage that most other pitchers don't, just being a larger target.
Not to mention he leans more into that 3/4 arm angle, a little more out to the side, and that makes it really tough for right-handed hitters because that ball sometimes can look like it'll start more at your head. Now he'll snag this one out of the air, sends it over to second for out number 3, and that'll be it. And the 6'7" frame, you're able to catch that one over your head.
And there you have it.
That'll end the top of the 6th, but Chemeketa take themselves the lead. We'll be back to see if Linn-Benton can grab it. Chemeketa has been solid behind the dish, and of course, getting a hit and a run across for Chemeketa. Jake Dodge leading off here in the bottom half of the 6th for Linn-Benton. The biggest thing right now is they're trying to get back at this lead. They led 3-0, and they had the lead since the 3rd inning, and then Chemeketa came roaring back in the top half.
Yeah, and, Jake Dodge was a part of one of those incidences when you had him throw the ball a little too high, or a little too low with a little too much oomph on it to the outfield. It caused another Chemeketa Storm to take another run as he's able to field this one good. And you imagine that he's able to shake it off and have a better performance.
And Joe Vaccaro will make the catch out in left field for out number 1. And another one quickly put away for the Storm. Jack Lee continuing to work out there for the Storm. He still stayed very efficient throughout.
He has. He's been still having a very effective day. He's still been the reliable pitcher. No changes for them. They like what Klee's been doing. I don't think they're going to change it anytime soon. This Klee with another nice lean drive. And again, Jack Klee, he's been reliable, so I don't imagine any pitching changes sooner than later, much like how the Roadrunners have had theirs more recently.
do have a couple defensive changes as well. Joey Genduso now out in right field, as well as Brody Hinsdale now at third base. And that getting a couple replacements after we saw the pinch hits come through for Chemeketa. We'll see how they do in the field. Maybe just looking to minimize those errors as well, as it'll be a 2-1 count. Chase Logan still trying to work his way back into it and just get someone on for the Roadrunners. He'll foul this one back. Count will go 2-2.
Another good line for Klee. I'd imagine that he's going to try to keep sending those low ones in.
He's continued to deal well here for Chemeketa. He's allowed those few runs, but ultimately still only one earned on his part through 5 1/3. He still stayed efficient, just missing his spot there. But Linn-Benton really haven't quite been able to figure him out as of yet. One out, no one on. Here's the payoff pitch from Klee. Swung on and fouled back. Logan will stay in it. Landon Lay waiting on deck for his opportunity. Did get that single up the middle in his last at-bat. Looking to try and pick up another hit. Would love to have a runner on for it, as Logan will foul this one away as well. He'll stay alive in the full count.
A lot of fouls recently with these swings, but Klee's been sending them good. Like you said, he's been dealing a very good day, and he continues here.
Klee will set, fires another payoff pitch. This one flown out into the infield. Settling under it will be Lemming. He'll make the catch, round number 2.
And Lemon with the easy strikeout there, being right into his glove, as we'll see another rotation as one of the recent runners is coming back with Lay.
Yeah, Lay looking to try and stay efficient, keep up those hits. Of course, again, he's 3 of 4 in his last 4 at-bats so far this season. We've seen him get a couple sprinkled in, but starting to get more and more consistent. Started off the season pretty cold, but has been warming up again. 3 of his 5 total hits on the season have come in those last 4 at-bats, so he's been working well, and we'll see if he continues to do so throughout today. This one swung on and fouled away. Klee will get ahead 0-2.
Klee with another really nice swing, or excuse me, with another nice throw, trying to get Lee off his game.
Klee has done well pitching to contact. Only 2 walks and 1 strikeout. He's been able to get the ball on the ground a lot of pop-ups as well, which is something that Linn-Benton have struggled with that last couple of weeks, maybe searching a little bit too much for power. You get back in that stance a little bit, try and elevate, and you end up getting too far under it. As Klee looking for the punch out here, fouled away again. Lay will stay alive. And Linn-Benton have been working well into a lot of these counts, but Klee has stayed the favorite throughout.
He has, and again, that consistent pitching from your top guy is what you'd like to see, and is what keeps him on the mound every series, having that consistency when it comes to his throwing mechanics.
Ball 1 comes through, slider down towards home plate, just missing low. But it's still a spot they'll hit. You can see Hooper acknowledge his pitcher out front. 2 outs, no one on. 1-2 from Klee, fouled off again by Lay, still staying alive, but Jack Klee he's peppering the zone right now.
He is. He's very much making a better attempt, I guess, to have the chances to now mess with Lee and get him off his game.
And I think the biggest thing is now that he's got the lead in hand, he can work a little bit more comfortably, know he can still give up a run here and there, and his team's still in, know that his offense can back him up now, as that is the 5th foul of the at-bat for Lay.
Already 5 fouls while at bat. Klee is really working with him, trying to see what he can get. If he can, he's aiming for the strike, clearly trying to not allow Lay to have another run.
This one inside, popped up into shallow right center. Going back, it will be Jen Duso who comes in for the catch. He'll call off Blackhawk for out number 3, and big 0 on the scoreboard there as Chemeketa hold their lead through the 6th. They got a 4-3 lead heading into the 7th. Sun shining down here over top Dick McLean Field. Noah Dewey out for a Elias Blackhawk, the first player to meet him here in the top of the 7th. Dewey looked good in the one out that he got in that last inning, taking over for Brody McMullen, and he's looking to continue to deal. We'll see if Chemeketa can start to figure him out. We saw it with McMullen. It was 5 great innings from Brody there, kept it scoreless, but then in that 6th, there were just a couple things that went wrong, a couple hits given up as Chemeketa really started to find that momentum, and Dewey, a good reset for Linn-Benton.
And it happens, you let accidentally a few mistakes begin to dunk pile and eventually you lose control. But here with Dewey, it gives you a new chance to have a different type of momentum swing your way and have a different chance to have a better setup overall for your game plan.
Count will go 1-2 to Blackhawk. He's 1 for 1 on the day with a single and a walk. So he's gone on the 2 times he's been up. As again, the weather today has been all over the place. Really, we saw sprinkles earlier on, but Dewey will set him down on a curveball inside. Dewey picks up his first strikeout and a beauty at that.
It's almost like Dewey made the sun come back out with his new style of pitching, already being a positive change for the Roadrunners.
I mean, ultimately, it is just Pacific Northwest baseball at its finest.
Absolutely. You love it.
Dewey will get a nice first out. Now we'll try and stick with it as Joey Genduso will step up for the 2nd time in place of Taylor Brenneman. Struck out in his first at-bat, still looking for that hit. The leadoff spot not been kind to Chemeketa here to start the day.
No, not at all. And now Dewey can definitely take an advantage of that by sending those balls lower and faster and knock these higher swingers off their match.
1-1 pitch high, a little bit too high up above the letters. Count will go 2-1. And Chemeketa, I think what I'm more interested to see now, Nick, is how their defense continues to stack up. We've seen their offense work, picked up 4 in that last inning. Now their defense has to really show up as this one popped in towards right field, towards that line. It will head into foul territory as Colton Lindstrom picks up the 2nd out.
And already you have 2 outs early on for Dewey, and this is a great way to start as you take over as the premier pitcher, it looks like, for the remainder of the last 2 innings, hopefully being able to get a quick turnaround here by sending the Roadrunners back on the mound to give them their next opportunity to get back on the board.
Cody Lemming will step up with 2 outs and no one on. He's 0 for 3 on the day, still hunting for that first hit. One of the interesting things about the Chemeketa roster, Nick, we talked about it a little bit earlier. They have no lefties as this one grounded towards the middle. Star will pick it up and fires it across quickly to Dodge for out number 3. A quick inning of work for Noah Dewey to try and get momentum back the other way. The Roadrunners trail 3-4 heading to the bottom of the 7th. Jack Klee out for another inning of work. 6 innings pitched, 89 total pitches so far, only allowing 2 walks and 1 earned run. 3 runs total, but 2 were errors on the infield. He's only allowed 1 himself, has 1 strikeout. He's been very, very good all throughout, been limiting damage as much as he can, and Linn-Benton really haven't figured him out consistently.
No, and again, no changes for the pitching today. He has been the consistent man on the mound, and that will hopefully continue as they can put this away with only just a last bottom of the inning and then 1 more to go, and they might be able to walk away with this close win.
Yeah, bottom of the 7th as this one continues to stay close. Count will go 1-1 versus Connor Boyd at the top of the lineup for Linn-Benton, trying to use this momentum, having that leadoff hitter, having the stronger part of the lineup move forward. As this one will just miss outside. Count will go 2-1. There has been a little bit of activity in the Chemeketa bullpen, but still not enough yet to take out Klee. Wondering how short of a leash he's on going into the bottom half of this inning.
That is an interesting question to prove. Of like maybe send out another guy to see if you can switch it up and see what you can get.
As Lemming will fire it over, not in time, as Boyd will beat out the throw over to Crawford. That's going to be ruled as an infield hit for Connor Boyd, his first hit of the day.
It took a nice bounce. It landed perfectly into his glove at the first base, but it was not enough, and he was able to take home using that explosive speed to steal a base.
Brooks Avery will step up with 1 on, no 1 out. 1 for 3 on the day, still looking to pick up another big hit here. Could very well see a bunt from Avery in this situation. He will show, puts it back down to the pitcher. This one maybe a little bit too close. They'll get Boyd, will not get Avery. And it looks like Connor Boyd is trying to say that he was not on the base. We'll see head coach Andy Peterson come out to talk to him.
That was interesting. It looked like he got there early.
It looks like we will see the umpires have a quick conversation. This would be a big play. It would put 2 runners on with a runner in scoring position and no outs with Bryant Starr up, or it would be 1 out with only 1 runner on first, and that would change things quite a bit, but it looks like the call will stand. Boyd will be out, so that'll be at 1 out, 1 runner on first in Brooks Avery, as Bryant Starr will take over at the plate.
And now Starr has the opportunity still to make this a favorable matchup for the Roadrunners with only 1 out still on the board so far. Being able to get his man to move further throughout the diamond and himself find plate, it could be a great situation.
Now we'll see Avery take off, as that one was lost behind the dish by Wyatt Hooper, as Brooks Avery will pick up a nice stolen base there, get himself in scoring position. Avery is 8 for 8 on stolen bases on the season.
And there's another. He's able to show that speed whenever it's time for him to move bases as quick as possible. He's able to do it.
Starr looking to really try and capitalize on this opportunity now. Swings, cracks this one over to Lemming at short. He'll fire it over in time, holds the runner as well, and that is a big out for Klee and the Storm.
You still have a man on base, so there's still a chance you can walk away to tie this one up and send it either fourth to 10th inning or see what you can do in the 9th. We'll get to see here if Lindstrom can help out with that.
Yeah, Lindstrom, he's got 2 RBIs as of right now. He's been moving up that RBI count. He's got 16 on the season now, including these last two. Still has not logged a hit today, but does have those 2 RBIs.
And that's really what matters, though. When you have RBIs, that's still arguably more helpful than getting the hits in, especially in a matchup like today where every little run counts and every major mistake can lead to a massive momentum swing.
Yeah, he's been getting more and more consistent with his swing, but ultimately when runners are in scoring position, that's where he thrives, as this one will be fouled off himself. Count will go 1-1. And Klee looking to stay careful against him here. Knows he can take RBIs off, knows there's a good runner off of second, and he's not trying to give any freebies to Lindstrom.
No, giving him freebies would be a horrible opportunity, especially right now. That is not exactly what you want to be giving up this late into a close game that's still very much in reach for the Roadrunners.
Klee will set and fire this one, grounded weakly and into foul territory it will go. So count will move up to 1-2 for Klee, as he is now sitting on 99 pitches on the dot. It has been an impressive outing thus far, and he's really been forced to work late into that stamina.
He has. He really has been having to reach to his back pocket to see what tricks he can pull out, but he's still been dealing pretty good today. He's been, again, the reliable pitcher for the Storm, and it really is going to see how well he can perform this late into the matchup.
And it's been intriguing to see him get more and more starts. We talked a little bit earlier on in the broadcast that he was usually a relief pitcher earlier on this season. Now he's worked more and more into a starting role, as this one flown out into shallow left field. It will be caught on the run by Vaccaro for out number 3. So the Roadrunners come up empty in the bottom of the 7th. Jack Klee, another great inning of work. We'll head to the top of the 8th. Chemeketa still lead 4-3. Lance Kreisberg leading things off for the Storm here in the top of the 8th. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI on the day so far, and he has continued to be one of the biggest offensive threats for Chemeketa.
He's been a very valuable asset today, and if he's able to hit his swings right now, this gives Chemeketa a chance to have a great opportunity, as there you have an bright example.
This one will be sent into the crowd beyond the netting here for strike number 1 from Dewey. And again, we have seen him continue to look strong so far, as you know, as of right now, he is 6 for 11 with 4 RBIs versus Linn-Benton in these last 3 games. And that is an incredibly impressive metric, considering also how good Linn-Benton's pitching is, but he'll wave at a high off speed there as Dewey's up 0-2.
And, you know, that's what makes him so versatile, is that in these last matchups versus Linn-Benton, he's had a very series good of events, and here the pitching just is able to get ahead of him.
0-2 pitch from Dewey.
Ooh.
This one way over his head.
A little too high there, almost took his head off.
Yeah, just mixing up the location a little bit. But again, the Linn-Benton defense playing into the shift. We saw it in his last at-bat as Brooks Avery, the second baseman, is past shortstop. This one sent way up high towards shallow left field. Star will get called off by Demanu, and he'll make the catch for out number 1.
And Demanu with the nice fielding out And now the shift can hopefully go back in Linn-Benton's favor with another good series of pitching. But so far, Dewey's been doing good.
Very has through an inning and 2/3, limiting pitches, only has 13 pitches thrown so far, has himself a strikeout. No hits, no walks, no runs, as Nick Crawford, who had an RBI single in his last at-bat, will step up now, rocks this one down the left field line, and it will go into foul territory. That one, a very threatening look there on the first pitch from Dewey.
Dewey already showing that arm, being able to have those good throws near the high area. But if a lower pitcher can get up and have that good swing, you definitely go against you.
And Crawford was just able to see that off speed up and early out of the hand and was able to turn on a little bit too much so. As the count will go 0-1, but Dewey got to be aware of that pull hit immediately. He goes to the slider, check swing. They'll say he went around, and that's strike two.
Dewey's already making a good chance here for the Linn-Benton to get back on it, have another opportunity.
This is one of the most threatening looks we've seen from Noah Dewey all season long. He's been very efficient throughout, but this being one of the scariest looking forms of Noah Dewey that we've seen as he picks up the backwards K, his second strikeout of the appearance for out number 2.
Noah Dewey knows that he's now very much in a good state of mind. He's going to continue laying it on hard against the incoming storm.
Brody Hubble will step up with no one on and 2 outs, trying to just get a runner on board for Chemeketa here in the top of the 8th, but Noah Dewey has proved to be a tall wall to climb as he'll miss low for ball 1.
Quite literally, as we saw earlier, that quick grab above his head like it was nothing. Again, 6'7" size, that really is a massive frame advantage.
It's interesting to see both these teams having a 6'7" pitcher on their roster. Linn-Benton having Noah Dewey and Chemeketa having Warren Rose, who we don't know if we'll see today. Did see him in that last doubleheader versus Linn-Benton just 2 days ago. Would not expect him to return until maybe late in game 2. We'll have to see until later on as the count will go 2-1 versus Hubble. Hubble still searching for his first hit of the afternoon. Dewey will set and fire this one, crack towards Avery on the dive, makes the stop and gets it over to Dodge, falling off the bag, but he hangs on to it. What a stop from Brooks Avery, and what a way for Jay Dodge to hang on and pick up the third out. An electric defensive showing, but Linn-Benton still trailing heading into the bottom half. Max Eaton, the freshman right-hander from State, Oregon, taking over duties on the mound for Chemeketa, will step up in place and try and take advantage of the game Jack Klee has left him here in the 8th inning. Jackson Farah being the first player to meet him at home plate, but We've seen Eden look very good so far. 3.48 ERA over 20 and 2/3 innings, this being his 11th appearance on the season.
Eden's, whenever he's allowed to take the mound, he's shown what he can do, and what he can do is pretty still effective. Now, obviously, Cleese had a very good day today. He's been a very consistent pitcher for the Storm on this afternoon, but maybe Eden can get a little on that and have himself a good day.
Yeah, Clee only giving up 1 earned run in 7 innings, and that really showing how good he has been, and that's the 3rd consecutive seven-inning start from Jack Clee as Jackson Farrell rips this one towards right field. Not going to drop in time. Joey Genduso makes the catch, and that's out number 1 for the Storm.
Genduso, good job tracking the ball as it before hits the ground. Good attempt there to field the out.
It was a good swing from Farrell. Got a lot of power behind it. Unfortunately, just floated a little bit too high out into right field. Andrew Deminu will step up with 1 out, no one on. He's still searching for his first hit of the day. We'll take strike 1 inside. We've seen the pitching look really good. Ultimately, still has felt like a pitching battle throughout today. Is this one ripped down the third base line? It stays fair. Deminu trucking into second for extra bases. He's going to have himself a 1-out double.
And another error by Chemeketa, losing the ball once again on the defensive side. Hopefully this is not a sign of things to come.
And that is a clean double for Andrew Deminu, his 4th double of the season. And a much-needed double at that to put a runner in scoring position as Jake Dodge will step up with 1 out, now a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, and the Storm is not a good sign from that defensive showing. And now, if you are the Storm, I wonder what you're now thinking about. Like, hopefully you don't lose momentum here.
Yeah, even going to be looking to slow things down as this one sent foul towards the Chemeketa bullpen. Count will go 0-1 early. Dodge looking to turn on something towards the right field. He might get the look here. No, this one going to head towards left field, but it will be into foul territory. One hopping the wall out in left, but just falling too far foul. The wind blowing that one a little bit more foul. It's moving from right to left field as of right now.
And now you do mention that the wind is starting to pick up, so you can only imagine that may have an effect on pitching.
Did see Eaton get 2 innings versus Linn-Benton back in game 1 of the last doubleheader just 2 days ago. Through 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, but no runs, no walks. Was able to escape with limited damage done, and ultimately has looked really solid in his last few appearances. Has done well at minimizing runs. Has allowed pretty consistent hits as Dodge will fly this one out towards left field. The catch will be made out by Joe Vaccaro for out number 2.
Again, another good tracking by the Storm's defense there with Vaccaro staying under it, not budging, and calling his man away.
Chase Logan will step up with 2 outs and the tying run out on second base. A much-needed single at play for the Roadrunners. Don't want to try and let it get to the 9th. Still trailing Max Eden. Looking to escape with all he can after giving up that double down the third base line to Deminu. This one swung on foul straight back. It was an up and in fastball. Logan just couldn't quite get his hands around it. Eden in his last 6 innings pitched, he's only allowed 1 run, has allowed 8 hits in those 6 innings, but only 1 run. So he's allowing contact, but ultimately he's been able to get himself out of it. He's looking to do the same exact thing here.
Yeah, Eden's been having himself a good day, and he's been having himself a good season as well. So I think that Eden is being a more trustworthy pitcher to take over for Clee after he's been having a very good start to this game.
This one sent up high towards center field. Hubble will sit back and gather for out number 3. Chemeketa hang on to their lead heading into the 9th.
1 hit, no runs, no errors.
Noah Dewey back out in the top of the ninth for the Roadrunners. He's through 2 1/3 innings so far on 20 pitches, allowing no walks, no runs, and having 2 strikeouts alongside it. He has been dominant since he came out.
Yeah, he really has been having himself a really good second half of this game. You know, McMullen, he did set a very high standard with that consistent pitching, but again, when it came to that sixth inning, he did let himself get away. But here, Dewey's been doing a good job of stepping up in that hole.
He's looking to finish strong here in the top of the ninth, get the Roadrunners quickly back on the bats, trying to get this game back in the hands of the Roadrunners as he'll fire a great off speed there to drop in for strike number 2. Wyatt Hooper had himself an RBI single, his only hit of the day. He's 1 for 3, looking to get a base runner on early for Chemeketa here in the top of the ninth. 0-2 pitch. This one cracked towards center field. It will drop in front of Lay. Gets away from him, as well as we'll see Hooper collect second base. So that's going to be a base hit with an error on top of it. And that will put a runner on second for Chemeketa with no outs.
Again, another error for this Linn-Benton defense late in this game. That's not what you want to see at all this close of a matchup. You want to make sure you can clean that up. But overall, I still like what Dewey's been doing today. He's been having himself a very good day. And I think that if he continues up with the way he was pitching earlier in the last 2 innings, he can definitely still give Benton a chance to come back and tie it.
That's been the first hit that Dewey has given up in this appearance as well. Now he'll immediately look towards Hooper as Brooks Avery keeping that one in front, almost got away from him on that second base side. But now Dewey needing to be very careful to limit the damage. Brody Hinsdale will step up to try and capitalize for Chemeketa. Hinsdale has gotten one at bat. He walked. Now he's going to lay down a bunt down the right side. Dewey will pick it up, fire it over to Avery on the inside of the bag. There's a little bit of contact there between Hinsdale and Avery, but the out is still collected, and Hinsdale does a job.
Almost runs him over there as he tries to take the base, but Avery keeps his calm and is able to get the out.
The job well done by Hinsdale, getting the sac bunt, putting an extending run just 90 feet away. I'll bring up Joe Vaccaro as well, 1 for 3. Trying to get that cushion of a run here in the top of the ninth, and Dewey looking for a massive out here, trying to minimize all the contact he can. Off speed, just dropping low. Hooper looking to score on any sort of hit, maybe any sort of contact here down into the field. And this one will be over to Starr. He'll check on the runner and he'll fire it across. And a great job from Starr holding the runner at third and picking up out number 2.
That's smart by Starr to hold the runner, see to fake him out so that he'll stay on base and then check it over to get the out. Great series of events and good job on Starr for thinking ahead to check on the runner.
That'll bring up Elias Blackhawk here, rounding out the bottom of the lineup for Chemeketa with 2 outs. Runner on third, Dewey looking for another big out here to try and get Linn-Benton back on the sticks. Will find the outside corner for strike number 1. He has continued to hit his spots well throughout, been working really well with that fastball control and then mixing in that curveball slider all across the dish. As we'll drop that curveball in again. A curveball from a 6'7" pitcher almost looks impossible. It starts practically above your head and then somehow drops in.
It looks like it would be just going straight, as strong as possible, but he's able to put some nice spin on it as the wind is really picking up here late.
This one grounded over to Avery. He'll scoop it up and fire it over to Dodge for out number 3. And Noah Dewey continuing to impress in this appearance. He'll get out of another inning with no runs allowed. That'll send us to the bottom of the ninth. Linn-Benton still trailing by 1. Bottom of the ninth, new pitcher on the mound, but not a new name. Lance Kreisberg, who has been DHing all game long. He's 2 for 4 with an RBI, and now he's on the bump for Chemeketa, trying to finish out this game for the Storm.
He could do it all. This is another aspect of his game that is still one of his best.
And now we'll see how he can do on the mound. He's going toe-to-toe with Landon Lay to start. This count will go 2-0 early. There is a lot of hype around the Linn-Benton dugout right now to try and keep momentum rolling and ultimately get things cooked back up here in the bottom of the ninth. Last chance as Lay will show bunt pull back, forcing the location to just be that bit tougher for Kreisberg.
Smart move there to fake the bunt.
So it's 3-0. No one on no outs. Lay showing bunt again, and he'll force him to throw it wide, and Landon Lay will get on in a big spot here. No outs. He'll pick up as the lineup card will flip over. Connor Boyd will step up now.
100 IQ play there by Lay, faking the bunt in order to force the walk, and he's able to take first.
And Kreisberg, this being his 5th appearance on the season, he's sporting himself a 2.25 ERA as Boyd and almost lined that bunt right back to Brody Hinsdale over at third. But Kreisberg, again, this being his 5th appearance on the season. And the biggest thing right now, his K per 9 is 11.25. He's got 5 strikeouts in just 4 innings on the season.
It's pretty impressive. He clearly has an arm. He's able to read the hitters well, and he's able to place the ball where it needs to be. He's got himself a nice precision with that eye.
Boyd pulls back there on the bump, but will take strike 2. So Kreisberg working himself right back in it. 0-2 pitch misses away. Lay almost getting caught out there as there's a great stop behind the dish from Wyatt Hooper. Threatening the back pick there. Kreisberg will set. And this one towards the knees will get Boyd looking. A huge backwards K for Lance Kreisberg, and Chemeketa have one down.
And Kreisberg showing that versatility there with his pitching, going low and knocking a man out. And now 2 outs away from possibly ending this in favor of the Chemeketa Storm.
Brooks Avery, 1 for 4 on the day, looking to step up big time here in the bottom of the ninth. Bryant Starr waiting on deck to try and get an opportunity. A big swing and a miss from Avery to start the AB. Oh, 1 out, 1 runner on. Kreisberg not seeming to worry about Lay too much. Will miss this one outside. Count will go 1-1.
Kreisberg laying some pressure on here. Dugout getting loud and into it.
Now this one fouled off. Looked to be a hit and run. Lay took off from first. That one sent foul. Count will go 1-2, and pressure now on Brooks Avery to try and put something in play, but looking to stay away from anything grounded up the middle.
It would not be ideal. They could easily jump on that and knock your man out.
Kreisberg will miss up and away this time. Cal will go 2-2. Is he working that fastball into the outside part of the plate, making it hard to really catch up and read. He's just trying to force that weak contact out of Avery, maybe getting him to chase something up and in. Fastball swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kreisberg, and Linn-Benton are down to their final out.
Kreisberg with another good series of pitching. He's been doing a great job, and now you see why you'll put him in at a moment to now slide the dagger in.
Bryant Starr will step up, 2 out to 1 on. Linn-Benton, their tying run is on first, but Starr needs to stay very careful in his approach. He's 2 for 3 on the day. with an RBI in the double. And he's looking for another big swing of the bat here in the bottom of the ninth. Kreisberg will deliver. High fastball by him. Count will go 1-1. Right now, we are just seeing Lance power down these Linn-Benton hitters, going straight past them with those middle-high fastballs that the Roadrunners just haven't been able to touch so far in the bottom of the ninth. And now he'll fire another fastball, outer part of the plate. He's up in the count 1-2. Now the Roadrunners down to their final strike.
One left to go here, and this may be the ball game.
Starr crowding the plate as usual, trying to make it even more dangerous. Here's the 1-2 curveball, put up the middle, and this will be a base hit. As we'll see Lay halt at second base. He'll stay there, but Bryant Starr keeps the game alive.
Kreisberg had the opportunity to field it, but just barely outside of the glove, tipping the top. And now this could still be manageable for the Roadrunners, depending on what happens here.
Now one of the hottest RBI hitters on the Linn-Benton roster in Colton Lindstrom will step up here. 2 runners on, 2 outs. Tying run off of second base. This one fouled straight towards the Linn-Benton dugout. And it's going to be ruled a balk. So the runners will advance with 2 outs, and that is a huge break for the Roadrunners.
My goodness, your top RBI swinger at the mound with 2 now inches away from possibly sending on another run to tie it up. Who knows, maybe, depending on how this goes, they could take the lead.
The tying run 90 feet away, the game-winning run off of second. High fastball will miss up. Jackson Farah is on deck if there is a walk, but I don't think Lindstrom wants to let it get there. He wants to be the hero right here and now in the bottom of the ninth. Kreisberg will set again. He fires. This one will go through, but stays high. And another ball in the count.
Oh, so close.
2-0. Kreisberg has got to be careful in this spot, as this one will be up and in. Count goes 3-0. Lindstrom, do you think he has the green light at this point? He's already got 2 RBIs, but he's on a 3-0 count.
He might be thinking to send this one and get the first homer of the game. What a time to nail it.
Kreisberg delivers, and you'll just see Lindstrom let it go. Had no intention of swinging there on 3-0, but now he's got to have the green light on 3-1. Farah more than happy to get a chance here waiting on deck. Kreisberg sets. Tying run just 90 feet away. Here's the pitch, swung on and fouled back. It's going to go to a full count.
Game's starting to amp up now. You imagine that Lindstrom, a lot of pressure on his back, but like you said, the green light to just swing and see what you can get. If you can get a lean drive to at least send one home would be a huge deal to tie it up.
This is the situation you dream of. 2 on, 2 outs, full count, swung on and put foul just narrowly down the first base line, just fell right of the bag, and it'll be a do-over here on the payoff pitch.
So close to having one of them take it. You could see that Lay was already eyeing that home plate to tie it up. That was close.
And if that one snuck through, that would have been a game winner, as there is a lot of speed off of second in Bryant Starr. Here's the pitch from Kreisberg. Swung on this one towards first. It'll be cleaned up by Crawford for the win. And Chemeketa win 3 straight 1-run games over Linn-Benton to add on to their win streak. A big victory there for Chemeketa. Lance Kreisberg shutting things down as of late. And that'll be it. Chemeketa will take it 4-3. We'll be back in just a moment for a post-game breakdown. And Chemeketa take it 4-3 over Linn-Benton. We'll see Jack Klee pick up the win for the Storm. Brody McMullen will have himself the loss for the Roadrunners. We saw Lance Kleinberg was able to get himself the save for Chemeketa, and ultimately another close game. The third one-run game in a row between Linn-Benton and Chemeketa, and the Storm take all three.
It's very unfortunate to see this way end up for Linn-Benton. Oh, so close in every single matchup, being only just a few runs away from making it a doable game for them, and this is no different.
Yeah, we saw some good offense all over the place. Bryant Starr for Linn-Benton went 3 for 4 with a double and an RBI. Of course, saw Lance Kreisberg. He went 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI. He looked good. Wyatt Hooper, the catcher, had a standout performance as well. He went 2 for 4, was a big part of it. And obviously, we saw the pitching battle. Jack Klee did incredibly well through 7 innings, his third consecutive 7-inning start. Only allowed 1 earned run, had Max Eden and Lance Kreisberg in support over for Linn-Benton. Brody McMullen, he threw himself a solid 5 2/3. Ultimately, that 6th inning just got away from him, and Noah Dewey looked dominant through that last 3 1/3 innings.
The pitching was the highlight for both teams, both giving out good performances, but it was the errors that really killed it for both teams. Several miscommunications, a lot of tipped balls, very close to being fielded inside of gloves. However, they were just not being able to reach out far enough and field those balls, and it did result in a lot of stolen bases and free runs.
Yeah, the errors really kicked things off for Chemeketa. They were able to clean it up as the game went on, and then it was Linn-Benton's turn. Had a couple critical errors that allowed a run through and ultimately gave Chemeketa the lead. And then when it came down to it in the bottom of the ninth, couldn't quite get the job done when it needed. Linn-Benton, they'll drop down to 27-8-1 overall, 23-8 in the South region. Chemeketa will move up, trying to get closer to that playoff spot, 16-15 in the South, and now 24-18 in the overall. And they have been looking good. Of course, we'll see how they do in this game 2 of this doubleheader. That will be coming up on the NWAC Sports Network. But that being said, we will give a shout out to our crew here. Producer Bryn Kirkland, director Drew West, cam and engineer Andy Sloan. Also on cams, John Reese and Brady Elliott. Having alongside myself, Nick Munoz getting the start, and Ben Agmon doing audio graphics, Caden Ross, Elijah Zeigler on engineer, and also shout out to our advisor in Steven Sandberg and in Mark Majeski and Tim Mollerstrom for Linn-Benton. It has been a beautiful day for baseball, and what a game we had once again. It's been Brad Whitman and Nick Munoz signing off for KBVR TV. We'll see you next time.